Welcome to WTDC-25, the World Telecommunication Development Conference being held here in Baku in Azerbaijan, where I've got the great pleasure of being joined in the studio by Natalia Mochu, who is the Regional Director of the ITU Regional Office for the Commonwealth of Independent States, CIS. Natalia, welcome to the studio.
Thank you, Max.
Now, let's start off on talking about this conference here, WTDC-25. Every 4 years, it is a very important conference in ITU's calendar and also in the telecommunication development calendar. Why is this, in your opinion, why is this conference important?
Well, first of all, let me start by thanking, of course, for the opportunity. But coming directly to the WTDC, this one is specifically important for the region, and I think we've been mentioning this for so many times, that this is the first time a development conference is taking place in this region, ever in the 160 years history of the ITU. So for the region itself, it's a great honor. For the country, it's a great, enormous honor and responsibility to host such a large conference here in Baku. So this is one main message that we've been sharing from the region to the world, for everyone to welcome and come to Baku. And of course, as we are at the transition from having in the region, from having developed infrastructure and now moving towards digital transformation and applying technologies into the digital services development, and et cetera, this is something that for the region, again, is of extreme importance in making decisions that would support the governments in transitioning towards the more advanced digital technologies and digital services, including the emerging tech. And we hope that the decisions of the conference will actually reflect this trend in the region on looking into new emerging technologies and advancing the development and supporting the countries in advancing the development of this kind of technologies here in the region.
Let's talk about the region, the CIS region, of which you are the regional director. What are the current priorities here at the moment?
So we are currently looking and focusing a lot on, as I mentioned, emerging technologies, supporting the countries in identifying and understanding the implementation of AI specifically. And if we look into the advancements in the country, we see several countries that are taking grand steps in supporting the deployment of AI solutions in their countries. I will not name the countries, not to mention anyone specifically, but this is something very visible in the countries. This is one. The second priority is on cybersecurity. The countries are advancing greatly in our global cybersecurity index, but we still have several countries that need specific support, very dedicated, targeted support in terms of building their national capacities. And this is what we are doing. The third priority is on capacity development. Capacity development, digital skills, digital literacy. We've been providing dedicated expert support to the countries to assess their digital literacy. And we speak about the whole of population. So it takes a cooperation between the digital ministry, our traditional counterparts, but also the statistical offices, to put all of them together to indeed have a proper countrywide assessment and then identify steps where to go forward. Because again, going back to the developed infrastructure, the deployment of digital services, the governments understand they need a literate, digitally literate population, not only in the large cities, but countrywide, and this is a big area of our focus. And I am very happy to say that here in the region, the countries pay a lot of attention on digital accessibility issues. We have dedicated events, trainings for people with disabilities, especially for young people with disabilities in several countries, and we see the enormous support and feedback from the children, from parents, from teachers, and it gives indeed a great pleasure and understanding that we do something very meaningful and very important for the countries. So these are, I would say, these are the areas of priority currently, and we look forward, of course, to an update of the priorities as this conference is over and makes its final decisions in the nearest days.
You mentioned young people. I'd be also remiss, perhaps if we have, of course, a Girls in ICT Day on an annual basis. I know that that's very well supported in the region as well. What about gender balance?
Here in the region, generally, and even a bit historically, the balance between women, men, gender, digital, and overall gaps were not as evident or as existent even as maybe in other regions. Why? Because overall here in the region, everyone is attending schools, universities, is entitled to jobs, etc. So here, if we look at the statistics, the ICT data on digital gender divides, here in the region, we have almost parity achieved into all of the countries of the region. Few maybe are lacking. It's let's say 91% for women, 93% for men. But in two countries, we have the other way around. Right. We have 93 or 94% of women and 91% of men. So here in this region, generally, I would say we are doing very well. And it's kind of historically, traditionally, I would say that the level of education and generally the access to education is given and is ensured for all the population. And I hear when you mentioned girls in ICT, and I want to stress this. When we speak of girls in ICTs, we probably don't speak of the gaps, but more of the success and showing examples. Well, when universities have almost 50-50 parity of girls and boys going to the universities to technical, when we build capacity and we see that more girls are attending than boys, etc. Many examples. So in this sense, I think it's the region is supportive from the point of view of sharing the experience of how it could be that women and men are equally contributing, should have equal opportunities, should be able to contribute equally to the development of the industry, and it's up to us to support each other and give each other this kind of opportunities without necessarily pushing anyone to do what they do not please to do. So
exactly. Very good point.
So I think equal opportunities, this is something that we have here in the region, and then girls equally as boys are free to strive, and we see great examples of actually girls being more active than boys. Boys shy away a little bit, but girls are really very active.
Oh, that's great to hear. Now you're perfectly positioned, of course, to get feedback with regards to coming back to the conference. From the member states and also to know their position here at the conference itself. What are the hopes and wishes for the conclusions of this conference for the members of the CIS states?
Thank you, Max, for this question. Well, I think overall, all the countries and the member states from this region specifically look at adoption of the core decisions of the conference in a successful manner. And just today we had the approval of the declaration of Baku Declaration that without any kind of reservations, and all agreed. We're happy to see good outcomes being as we finalize the conference. But I think the core interest and focus of the country still goes to the regional priorities, because this is something where we will be focusing. And in this sense, the region has prepared and identified the regional priorities for the next 4-year cycle. And this again includes advanced technologies, emerging tech, including AI. It includes actually a dedicated priority on AI for development. And this is, I think, the only region that has put AI-related regional priority as a standalone, which gives us a sign that we should really focus on building capacity in the region. Then again, we have cybersecurity in focus, we have digital skills and people with disabilities inclusive in focus. The country is looking very much into creating enabling environment and regulatory policies that would support them in further kind of advancing the development of the sector of the telecommunications ICTs here in the region. So this is something of a focus for us. Yeah, I would say these are the ones that will continue to work closely with the region. And again, emerging tech is something where the region is really making great advancements, and we are here to support them.
Indeed. And if you've enjoyed this interview, which I'm sure you will have, then do check out our other interviews on our YouTube channel as well as our podcast, wherever you get your podcasts from. And for further information, visit our website at www.itu.int/WTDC25. Thanks for tuning in.